Yeah, I wouldn't miss this for the world. I'm super excited.
Oh, good. Well, I'm excited to talk to you. I got to admit, I'm not very well versed on TikTok. My son had to school me.
Right, right.
But I have teenagers, and I was just fascinated by what you're doing. So I kind of want to start from the beginning and have you explain, like, what do you do on TikTok?
Excuse me. Okay, so I guess what I do is I create historical Chicago content, um, Chicago in general, any and everything Chicago, and then a lot of Black here. I try to sprinkle in Black history facts in between all of that as it relates to Chicago.
Okay, so these are like short, quick videos just talking about Black history, centered around
Chicago history
Chicago.
mostly, and specifically Black history. But yes, they're 60-second videos, and I try to give you. I mean, I can't give you the entire subject in 60 seconds, but
Right.
I want to give you enough to spark your curiosity and have you do further research.
So what inspired you to do this,
Um,
and to even use this platform to do it?
my daughter got me on TikTok. She's 8 years old. Her name is Bailey. Um, and she, like every other kid, she wants to do the latest TikTok dance, and every day after work, she's like, come dance with me, come do the dance. And we did a few, I'm not going to say no to her. But she had this idea, like she wants to be TikTok famous. She wants to go viral. And I said, baby, there's like millions of people on here dancing. Like everybody's doing that. You got to do something different. I was like, let me feed you history posts. There are no 8-year-old people on TikTok, able to tell you that Black History Month started at the Wabash YMCA. You're immediately going to go viral, and it's going to help your reading and your diction and this and that. And she said, don't nobody want to see that on TikTok. We ain't nobody even going to watch it. So I did one and it did well, and off to the races.
So how do you structure your videos? Is it just you talking? Is it you the music? Like, how are you
Uh,
bringing the audiences in?
TikTok is very user friendly in that manner. Embedded in the app, you can use songs and populate different images. So that's what I do. I keep a standard little tune in the background that's playing, and I start off with myself introducing the subject, and then after that, I typically present old Defender photos or old Tribune photos, whatever the subject is, to go with what I'm saying. So, like I was telling the story about the taxi cab wars. So, I just used the archival footage of that
So you use old Defender
all,
photos?
all the time.
Oh
I
wow.
just, I mean, I just email. I'm so sad COVID's going on because I want to volunteer all the free time I got to the archival process you guys got over there because it'll be mutual beneficial. I'm sure you guys use hands-on help, and I would get to have access to things that would rock my mind. So yeah, I use the Defender quite a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot of history there. I actually found in my own house, and I had no idea. My uncle used to be a photographer for the Defender, like in the 40s, and he had a huge scrapbook of all the pictures and articles from 1940s, 1950s, 1960s. And my mom and I had no idea. He even had like his what do you call it, the press pass, and one of his paychecks from like the early 1900s. It was crazy, but it's a
It's
lot of history
amazing.
there.
It's amazing.
It's a lot
It's
of
really
history there. So what does your daughter think of your videos?
she's encouraged now. She's kind of, my dad's on the newspaper, my dad does TikTok, so she's proud. I still can't get her to do a history post on her own. Um, but she is starting to really love history.
Yeah. So what has been the response from everyone else to these videos?
The thing about Facebook, right? You kind of start off knowing your friends as you add them, right? You got to know people. Say with Instagram, you can jump on TikTok day one and not know anybody and have access to everybody that uses the app. So, like at this point, I got 32,000 followers. My videos have been watched, half a million and a half times. I've done Chicago Dibs. I did the Chicago Harlem Globetrotters. So it's been quite amazing. I'm happy that as a Black man from Chicago with an arm full of tattoos and dreadlocks, that I'm representing the city for something else other than shoot 'em up.
Amen to that. And you're from Auburn Gresham, right?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, that's my old neighborhood, so I'm very familiar. So it's always nice to see something positive, said about Auburn Gresham, because it's so much going on in the neighborhood that people don't talk about. You know what I
Right.
mean? Positive stuff.
Yeah. A lot of.
Everybody always wants to focus on the negative. So, what are your plans going forward after Black History Month?
Well, I'm gonna continue to create YouTube, TikTok content. I'm gonna do YouTube content, but I just found my money to start the Chicago Mahogany tours. I'm gonna do Southside tours. The second this COVID thing's over, you'll be able to book me to give you a tour of Southside, but not just like sightseeing, like historical. Mahalia Jackson lived here. This is where
Hmm.
Thomas Dorsey wrote this song. Quinn Chapel, stuff that is sitting in plain sight on the South Side every day that we walk past and don't pay no mind to. I personally feel like civic pride to solve a lot. I won't say solve, but help with what we got going on.
Well, they always say, especially with us as a people, when you know your history, we act different. The more
Yeah,
you know about where you come from and who, your ancestry. This is all part of our ancestry and our DNA. So when
yeah,
where you're coming from and who you come from, you have a little bit more pride, especially as you walk through life. So I think it's great. Have you been asked to come and speak to any kids or any
yeah.
schools?
I've done 2 Zooms since I started. My wife teaches at Kenwood High School. She's a chemistry teacher. And so the history teachers at Kenwood have all asked her, hey, can you get your husband permission to use his content? We're going to play it in class. So that's been quite fulfilling. And then I did 2 or 3 Zooms since speaking to different classrooms, just about giving history lessons, actually. It's been really
Were
good.
you always a history buff? Have you always just been into history?
Uh, yes, I got it from my father. She was a Chicago police officer for 30 years. And he's part of Mayor Harold Washington security detail, Eugene Sawyer, Kerr Mosey Braun when he ran. He was a part of the group that sued the city over the police entrance exam being culturally biased in the 70s. And so um, you couldn't ask for his car to go somewhere and you couldn't tell him what happened on Stony Island or when did black people get to even go watch movies over there, like so it was a lesson every day with him.
So he instilled your love of history. I love it. And now you're passing that on not only to your own kid, but to anybody, kids and adults alike on TikTok. I'm glad to see you moving to or possibly adding a different platform like YouTube as well.
I
Does that
am.
mean some of the videos will be longer?
Yes, I'm hoping. So my plan is to do 5-minute videos, 5 to 8 minute videos on YouTube on the subject, and the 60-second TikTok like work as the teaser. So you still can go on TikTok and get the information, but to get more or a longer video, you come over to YouTube. And
Hmm.
I'm hoping that this is used for curriculum. It blows my mind that we've been teaching kids the same way since 1950. And then in 60 seconds, I could teach somebody about the Lager beer or the Haymarket riot or the Pullman Porters. And they really have a understanding of the topic, and I did it in 60 seconds. We got to be able to change that with schools. And so I'm hoping that what I'm doing will spill into that.
I love that. I said I've been going through that with my own children who are in high school, but giving them the history that they are not going to get in school as much money as I pay for tuition. But they had never heard of Pullman Porters and how, or even the Defender and how influential the Defender was in the Great Migration. Like those little people, like how we all got here, how we all got here,
I'm
from the
speaking
South.
to the choir. The two are so intermarried. If distribution place found out that you were trying to print Defenders, you weren't gonna get it printed in Alabama. The Porters handed out the papers and were, and our brother A. Philip Randolph gets a lot of the credit, but the Porters of Chicago. The second command was Chicago. The
Yeah.
the thought behind the organization was Chicago.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited to again just reshape our image.
We just ran a story on one of the Pullman porters who turned 100 last week,
Oh, that's a
and just his he is a wealth of information and history. You know what I mean? And I think it's awesome that that's what you're communicating to the world, really, because TikTok, we always say this ain't local. So now you're
right.
you're reaching so many more people and bringing such a positive light, not only to the city but to the South Side very specifically,
Yes.
through what you're doing. So congratulations. What else do you want the public to know about what you're doing?
Just like I said, I would really want them to know that I'm hoping this is going to, well, it is going to lead into in-person tours when COVID is over. Uh, I work for ComEd. That's the other part of some of the messaging I plan on doing when you have me in person. We gear our
Mhm.
kids, go to college, go to college, go to college, go to college, go to college. And I went to college. I pledged. I'm a member of Omega Psi Phi. I love all of those things that I got out of college. Somebody 18 would have told me that I could go read meters at 18 and I'd be making 150,000 by 22 and never have touched a student loan. And, that's fourth generation of ComEd utility men that I work with. 4 generations in, they're on palatial estates and Hoffman estates because it's been, a passed down thing. And so that's another
Wow.
thing I want to sneak in, that Chicago is a blue collar town. And in the history of our town, you can still graduate high school and go be a building engineer and live downtown for free and just maintain the building and learn a skill. You can still, there are not stopped being cranes in the sky downtown since COVID started. They are
That's true.
constantly building. The cranes have not went anywhere. Based on what I do for ComEd is I electrify and energize all new equipment downtown. So I see this stuff going on, and I don't see brothers on those work crews. And I would like to, not just brothers, Hispanics, Latinos, South Side folks. Uh,
Hmm. The
we
importance of learning the trade,
learning the trade and intertying that into Chicago history as well, because that's we're blue collar town. That's what built it. Now we're a white corporate city, but it was the unions, for better or for worse, that got Chicago to where it is.
That's true. So where can people find you on TikTok? Let me know where you're at.
My handle is at six figure FIGGA underscore Dilla DILLA. Same handle on Instagram at six figure underscore Dilla. And I'm on Facebook at Chicago Mahogany. I told my wife, I said, I understand what the Tribune means to Chicago, and I'm going to certainly frame that article, but I want to be in the Defender. I want to talk to my folks, get this message out. So,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
okay. Well, thank you again very much.
Thank you. It was a pleasure meeting you.
You too. You have a great
All
one.
right. You too. Take care.
You too.